Good morning and welcome to the Capital Gang. I am Oscar Semoyam Soke with a bevy of topics for this morning, as Moses of the Morning Show would say, and he's still in the studio.
Hello, Oscar.
Yeah, there he is, yes. And in the studio I have Derek Wandera wearing an Arsenal shirt. I don't know what that means.
Today is the day for Champions League finals. Arsenal will be taking on PSG and we have to win. So I am happy that I have to celebrate today. Nonetheless, I'm in a celebratory mood because last week we won the Premier League.
Congratulations to that. Today is a little bit bigger, but starts early, so we will be there. We'll watch and see if you'll be happy at the end of 2 hours. Most welcome to Gang. The money man of NUP is here. Do you have any money in NUP, Benjamin Katana?
You know the Sawaya Queen, just Gara Queen and just Sawaya Queen. So even the meat is just the name, but no money.
The Sawaya Queen, you know, a clock is correct at least twice a day. So
money does not make noise. No.
Money does not make noise. That's why Katana doesn't make noise. Okay.
But I'm glad to be here.
We've missed you. It's good you're back. And are your MPs acclimatized? You have a little bit fewer than the ones you had the last time round.
Well, we hope that there will be. You know where I come from, there is a phrase like you can be many, but you have no purpose. Like the NRM crowd in Parliament. So we hope that ours, few as they may be, will be useful to the nation.
We wish you the best. Edgar Tabaro is in the studio. You're most welcome once again, Edgar, to the Capital Gang. Sometimes I call you the noisy one.
And thank you so much for the noise recognition. It's necessary noise.
Necessary.
I'm having a good week. Yesterday we made our first ever export of chilled meat to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It's the first time Uganda is being granted access to that exclusive market. It's been dominated by Brazilians and Argentinians. So we are beginning to get organized. We run an abattoir in Nakasongola, Niger. And I'm saying this because there's emphasis on value addition to agricultural products. And I'm looking forward to working with Benjamin Katana as a producer, not as a noisemaker. Like me.
I think in effect you're asking Oscar to reintroduce you, not as a noise maker,
but as an industrial. That's why I said I make necessary noise. But it is Oscar.
But yes,
it's a big thing for Uganda.
It is a big thing. But I didn't know that Saudi Arabia imports beef from Argentina and Brazil. That's so far away.
Exactly. But you see, they've been beating us at volumes. They've been beating us at volumes. And quite frankly, the unit cost of production is much lower than here. If you get pastures right, in Uganda we've been struggling with pastures, and you'll be very surprised. The best pastures in Uganda are between Fort Portal and Kasese town, that stretch.
Interesting.
Then West Nile, Parombo, and Acholi. That's why you see.
But we can plant these things. It's just that we don't plant them. What concerns me are the cuts. In Uganda, we don't. When you buy beef,
the abattoir is modern. It was commissioned in Italy by a company called Cogmet. They prepare all that. So why it's very exciting. The flight time between Entebbe and Jeddah is 5.5 hours.
No, talk about the cuts. Because whenever we buy beef, OPONDO is coming to. But whenever we buy beef, you have these little bones running around. Do you have clean cuts that you can export?
The trouble is that you go to Rufura. These Rufuras.
Where else should we go?
If you're to go for cuts, there's quality cuts in
all of Uganda should go to quality cuts?
You see, Oscar, a bottle of soda is produced by Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola. Now, it's up to you to consume it in Shauri Yako or the Serena.
I'm not sure
the
what you
choice is
said
yours.
about the cars, but
The
we
choice is
wish
yours.
you the
But
best
for us,
with that venture.
it's a big thing for Uganda.
Okay. So we have a guest, Mr. Roland.
Egesa. My names are not commutative.
Okay.
Egesa is the first name. Then Ronald Leonard.
Then Ronald
Leonard.
Leonard. Egesa Ronald Leonard. Which one is the tribal name? Which one is the tribal name?
It doesn't.
Is Ronald or
Ronald.
is the tribal name?
My first name is Egesa.
Right.
My father set the rules when I was born.
Yes.
The rules were not set in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my first name is Egesa, then Ronald. Leonard was from my grandfather. Ronald, because my mother was a fan of Ronald Reagan. I was born in that first term of Ronald Reagan.
Yes. Is that
No. Ronald Reagan, the people born during the reign of Ronald Reagan are millennials, not Gen Zs. Yeah. But I have an open roof like our moderator.
We welcome you to the Capital Gang. Your microphone is not on yet, sir. So we have Honorable OPONDO in the studio. You're most welcome. A surprise. Good to have you, Honorable
Why do you
OPONDO.
say surprise? I'm a gangster.
No, you are busy. I thought you would not have time for us this morning. Partying and
No, there's no party.
go to the microphone. Partying and all
No,
that
there's
business.
no partying.
Mm.
We're just settling down for work.
Yeah.
So yes, we are running up and down, trying to get to know the corners of where Abudu has been for 25 years. But I'm here.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
Last week you encountered your local, so that was last week. Now this week, what's the important feature? I saw you somewhere whispering with Minister Namere, but
Namere News Talk, Commander 001.
not News Talk, Stock Empia.
Stock Empia.
Commander
She
001.
She calls me now parental stock, and I glad
She
that
calls you parental stock.
parental stock. You know, in the house there are many young people.
Yes.
Young 24, 26. You know,
Yeah.
children who have come from school, and in the house they're coming from university, and they're in the house. Now you can map that with the Moses Ari and Professor Kamuntu. Yes, Moses Ari is a member of parliament. He took he took oath. The other day we were electing the speaker. He was there. I didn't see him this week when we were doing orientation. I guess because he has been in the house since 87, 88. Yeah. Yeah, but
We have two people who took oath differently. One of them is Honorable OPONDO, who did not swear to anything. And the other one, I guess, is Moses Ali, who did not.
Ask Abudu, the senior lawyer, senior member of parliament. That's the oath I took is all provided for in the constitution.
It is.
It is provided for.
Yes,
Yeah,
Administration of Parliament Act and the rules of procedure of Parliament.
And even common sense.
And yeah,
No, we don't live by common sense in Uganda. So,
Yeah, there are
so
people.
explain, what is it?
There are people who don't believe in God.
Right.
And if they are assuming office, they take the oath.
So what kind of oath did he take?
They are firm.
Right. That's Honorable Abdul Katontu in another Arsenal shirt.
Christians invoke God. The Muslims invoke Allah.
but you see,
the society we live in.
the ones who invoke God with the capital G and they swear to God are the ones who steal public funds.
I'm beginning to think.
Not necessarily.
I'm beginning to think they actually, for politicians, they should change the oath, because every time they say "Help me, God," after invoking God, they go to do very ungodly things.
They also became Christians.
Well,
And yet she invokes God.
Somebody what?
Went to consult which doctor?
There was sparring between
Oscar, can you continue introducing members of the panel?
there was sparring between
Only
two very senior.
Only want to divert this program.
so
But apparently, I think
And who tells you?
Doctor was consulted. One was very effective because the prayers of one were answered.
But they were answered in part.
On that one, I will ask Abdul Katuntu not to comment.
Abdul Katuntu doesn't see which doctors.
Abdul, just 1 second. What's your prediction for the football match?
Victory for North London.
Right.
Forever.
Madam Speaker of the Capital Gang is here. Resplendent in, is that orange? Is that deep yellow? I don't know. You're most welcome to
gold.
the gang.
Is he Madam Speaker?
Of the Capital Gang.
Of the Capital Gang. Good morning to our
we should
listeners
all
and
put in
friends
application for jobs.
and to the
Public
friends
service
in
jobs.
the gang. I bring you greetings from Mbale City. We had a very good ED, and they send their greetings, and they are good listeners to the Capital Gang. Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Honorable Minister has already exchanged. I called her on ED day. She said she was going to return the phone call in an hour. Up to now, I don't know.
Ministers are busy.
Ministers are busy.
Okay,
Congratulations.
I want to apologize to
Minister
ET.
Lydia
Actually, I called back
Wanyoto.
maybe because of network. I didn't get you, but I thought it would not be a gang announcement. That's between me and you. So, but I apologize. It was a phone, but now it's going to be one-on-one live. So don't worry.
Well,
I'm
congratulations.
Live one-on-one.
Lydia, congratulations. Madam Honorable Lydia Wanyoto. Congratulations on the ministerial appointment. Tell us about that journey. When do you report to office?
I have no idea because me and you, that's not our line. We are doing other things. So I hope that to remain because changes happen. I might be here saying I'm going to do this, and there will be maybe a reversal. We have seen they happen. So
we already have seen one reversal.
Yeah,
but
we are not so sure. That's one which is never constant. And I'm very mindful of that. It will not enter my head at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lydia, we have a chance here with you to hold on. We have a chance here.
Yeah, and my mind has not changed. These others are tasks. If they remove me today, I will not complain. If they take me there, I will work.
First, look at this question. We have a chance to walk through how one becomes a minister. So, did you apply?
No,
did you,
not at all.
Did someone write to you and say you're going to be minister? What would you like? What happens? Do you get a phone call? Were you called to say now you're a minister, or you read it at the same time like me on WhatsApp messages?
There were online lists on the night of
one of those nights,
Tuesday, and Tuesday.
Let's say one of those nights. Yes.
Yes. So I thought these are some of the usual lists that we all know about. Then then I saw Parliament being called to convene. I'm like, okay, I think now this could be a genuine list. But of course, many phone calls were coming in, including ET, my biggest chairgiver.
Yeah. But
I was like, let me see. Let me see for this list, because there are so many fake lists, as you know. So then when they were saying, okay, this is Muzeizi X, I think it's genuine and stuff. And I kept saying, okay, thank you. That quiet thank you.
So you didn't get a call saying, Lydia Wanyoto, you've been appointed
I never got any official call. I never received any promise. It was never in my line, because I've been a card of the NRM for the last 32 years. It has not happened. And for me, honestly, you don't have to be a member of parliament to be on the list of cabinet. There are so many that get there.
Yeah.
So, but
correct.
Now that I received an official letter yesterday from parliament, it has now sunk that I'm actually on the official.
So there's some documentation.
Yes, yesterday I received the letter.
Now working backwards to last Sunday, because we saw you Saturday here. We were wishing you well. You had changed positions to deputy speaker, and then you entered that room. Walk us through what happened then.
You did see her.
See, when
you didn't see her going to Colorado.
When I left here, when I won elections in Mbale, I declared interest for being a speaker of the 12th Parliament. I've run that journey like for 4 months. And then the last Saturday after swearing in, I'd received an invitation. I've been receiving lots of invitations. Any function of OO or both I attend. Even in his village, even the same when he was fundraising for church, I went near his home. So he's one of those friends that I
fast forward to Sunday.
But let me come.
All those things we knew.
Things changed during that. You've asked me to run that story.
For
so I left Gang on Saturday,
yes.
and I honored an invitation of both. Now, on my way to both's function, I received what I would call strategic calls in our system. You have been on the speakership consultations. We are going to share these positions. We are consulting people. The men will take we can't give you the speakership again as women. We are taking it as men. We are now negotiating openly. Even where you are going, it's going to be an issue. Even if it's not about him, we are now trying to be strategic. Move with your women colleagues to the deputy speaker. It's all the same office. So I got to Mukono. When I got to Mukono, of course, it was the first thing I said. Welcome to the rest. But honestly, even when I was declaring my intention to contest, if you go back to my audios, in Imbale at plot 49, I mentioned both. I said both is one of those people that we thought can provide leadership as speaker, but because of the dynamics and whatever, the guy came to say twice and said he could not take it. Because even Olanya died, we were trying to get him to be speaker. So I said, now that he has not come again as I start, let me take on this mantle. Doesn't matter how I end. So in Mukono, I said the same, and I said, okay, now that they are, I don't mind us taking one slot as women deputy, and I'm ready for it. Let the men struggle and guide us for the whatever. So politics, that was before the formal processes. Whatever we're doing before Sunday for the party was trying to do politics, realign here and there, mobilize, because it's an elective position within the party. Now, on Sunday morning, we got getting phone calls. We were going to Entebbe, and they were telling us, look, ladies, the leadership, well, in the beginning, we were being told there will even be there will be no discussion about this matter. But that given us a chance to express formally now an expression of interest, because the formal expression of interest took place on Saturday. When I left here, I went to formalize my expression of interest as deputy speaker. Now we became, I think, 17. Yet before we had been hardly 5 of us. So it became now a crowd, and I would appreciate why they blocked all of us then, because we became too many. So when we got there, we were given a chance to address the national chairman and to explain ourselves. And finally we said, okay, the party is bigger than any one of us. The leadership has decided that they take both and Thomas Tayebwa as the NRM candidates, because this was a party matter. But in Kololo on Monday, you saw that the party had just 2 candidates, one for speaker, or Right Honorable both, whom I supported wholeheartedly, and also Timothy Tayebwa. And the role we had to play was to make sure that the people we had been mobilizing now align, to make sure that the party's decision receives a consensus vote, and that's what we did. So if you saw me in Kololo, I was on duty.
Congratulations.
To make sure that what the party had decided is delivered.
Thank you. Good airtime as you
and
went
here I am.
That. Here you are.
Still a speaker of the gang.
No, next
going
week
forward.
we take you as minister of NRM. So, Egesa, thank you very much for agreeing to come to gang. You've been agreeing with Lydia on issues of people who are not campaigning for speakership, but who are campaigning for jobs. And were the jobs delivered?
Many of them, actually. I think all of them. It was just a negotiation tactic to get into cabinet. This is a script that was written way before. Even 2021, the likes of Thomas Tayebwa followed the same script. That's how they got themselves into positions like government chief whip. Yeah, and so I knew from the get-go. Actually, there's a time I met Honorable Lydia Tayebwa after the death of Honorable Jacob Bolanya.
The speaker.
You see, he was already now in the system as a government chief whip.
So you're saying I'm not been in the system?
You've been in the system, but you had the odds were against you. From the, there's a time I actually met you getting out of Radio 1. I wanted to tell you that it's a smart move to throw your hat in the ring, and then they will consider you. And on the part of President Museveni, it is a good indicator that these people are not shying away from leadership. In the NRM, there are many people who shy away from positions of leadership because they don't want the responsibilities that come with, say, being in cabinet. You have to defend government positions, even in public fora, where they find it a hard nut to crack, to swallow at times. Yeah. So, but for me, the issue of cabinet, if you'd allow me. That very morning, when the president released the cabinet list, I had breakfast with a senior advocate here, just here. So he asked me, when do you think cabinet will be appointed? And I said, before the end of this month, most likely before the end of the week. And he asked whether I work in State House. I said, no, but I am a very good student of Yoweri Museveni, President Museveni. So I told him, the events of the last few weeks, that had a crackdown on the former speaker, Anita Mong, had actually painted President Museveni's preferred successor, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, as a person who was now sounding more like Idi Amin. So it was imperative on President Museveni to quickly switch the narrative by introducing cabinet appointments. That was my reading of the situation. So, you see, it had come full circle for him. A person who used to demonize Idi Amin, now he found himself that after 40 years in power, the system has actually gone down the drain, that a person who sounds like Idi Amin and from his own household is the one that the public is clapping to, which inadvertently means that the public would prefer an Amin presidency if it delivers services in an efficient manner than an NRA or NRM presidency of President Museveni that is riddled with corruption. So he had to switch the narrative by introducing the cabinet list at the time it came. So in the evening when I saw the list on
you
this...
You should see how we are looking at you.
Yeah? Yes.
No heckling, nothing. Even Tabaro is watching. Yes, go on.
Yeah, so that is what I saw. Now, when the list came out, the first premise when I'm going to analyze that list is that is he still on course with the MK project or he's deferring it? So I analyzed it from that perspective. And my quick discoveries after going through the list were, one, the MK project is still on course. But he has ostensibly kept MK out of cabinet to be able to rope in different constituencies or different stakeholders to have their buy-in before he introduces him mid-term. That is my suspicion, that he could introduce him mid-term in a position such as vice president. And he did this by, one, pacifying the historicals. Even those that had fallen by the wayside, he tried to bring them back to the fold. So there are certain people that who could no longer, have the energy or the physical fitness to hold cabinet positions, but he brought in their children into cabinet. So now the historicals are back on the dinner table. If you look at the way cabinet functions in Uganda, it's more of an eating table, more than a service delivery or executive branch of government. So that's how I look at it. Yeah. So he brought them to the eating table. You can actually eat. Now he brings the spouse of the Right Honorable Mbabazi back to the eating table. He brings the son of the late Speaker Francis Ayume to the cabinet, and then the daughter of Vincent Sempija, a regime stalwart, brings her to the table, and then brings the daughter of General Saleh to the table. So now, if at all he introduces General Muhoozi Kainerugaba midway the term, these people cannot actually complain. So he has contained a likely internal resistance from within the historicals and the regime stalwarts. So it is something that even the population is being familiarized with. In psychology, there is that familiarity principle. And I think President Museveni is very good at it. And it is not starting today. Even when people like Serena Nebanda, passed on, he always supported vehemently introduction of a family member into politics so that they can take over their position. So it is something we are used to. If another Museveni member of the Museveni family comes and gets closer to the presidency, the population is already used to this kind of thing. So now, the other thing that he was doing is to try quickly and win over the people that he had lost to Anita Mong. So he kept some of those people in cabinet. Those that were not there, he actually brought them in. So he's dismantling the networks of Anita Mong. The other thing is he tried also to flatter, to deceive, that he's playing to the public sentiment by introducing some youthful faces in cabinet in positions of state minister. So in doing so, he gives you an impression that I am actually listening to what the public is saying, that I should get rid of the old guard and bring in some young people. So when he dropped the likes of General Ali and the likes of Ruth Nankabirwa, he was able to now bring in young people. So he's giving an impression that he's listening to the public, when in reality we know that he has not given them the levers of power that they can use to actually make meaningful change. And then the other thing is the strategic giving of ministries to Muhoozi Kainerugaba associates. Minister of Finance, the Minister of Works, he replaced a 4-star general with a former captain from the UPDF, who will not in any way disobey orders from General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. So in effect, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba will be de facto works minister, he will be de facto defense minister, he will be de facto finance minister, and he can actually now win on two fronts. He can drive the infrastructure development agenda and also claim to be a champion of last mile service delivery. So you see, when his ally takes over local government ministry, and you know that local governments at the sub-county level going downwards are fused with the NRM infrastructure. So it now helps the PLU faction to be able to capture the NRM grassroots network and put them in their fold. So on the face of it, the absence of Muhoozi Kainerugaba and the absence of some of the pseudo commanders of Operation Maliza Ufisadi like Kabanda was a point of celebration for the general public, but that is for people who are gullible and they could not read into the machinations of President Museveni.
Okay. What about Mao or his friend Mao?
No, Mao going into the speaker's race was also a tactic similar to what the Honorable Wanyoto here did. It was a negotiation tactic. For me, I pointed it out long before. Mao, the odds were stacked against him. There is no way Mao was going to win the presidency.
Kept telling him.
Yeah, and also President Museveni. You see, the other message that President Museveni brought out with these cabinet appointments is that, yes, I like Muhoozi Kainerugaba to come and succeed me as president, but I am not lame duck just yet. I am still in charge. That's why he sent this message clearly by not appointing some of the fellows that were just thumping and threatening even NRM members. Yeah, but he also gave him, wins, the positions that I've mentioned, local government, finance, and the like.
And Baryomunsi.
Yeah, exactly. Even the return of Baryomunsi. So he was showing the country that Muhoozi Kainerugaba is not the one calling the shots, just yet. But still, the project is going on quietly. So he has been given, Muhoozi Kainerugaba has been given an opportunity to expand the networks of PLU and to take over NRM rather than going about it in a hostile manner that they were giving us during the crackdown on Anita Mong. They were saying, "Oh, we are coming here, we are coming here." No, the whole world was on tenterhooks because Kavanda has said this. They even nicknamed him Omutume Kavanda. So that's so for me. I think those are the two things.
Does he regret putting himself out there, Honorable Kavanda?
No, but Honorable Kavanda should be realistic to himself, I think. He knows very well how President Museveni views him. There's a time President Museveni made a comment about the hunger zone of Muhoozi Kainerugaba. He said most of these are crooks. There are some reasonable people are in the PLU who don't actually come out in the open to say we are PLU. For example, Henry Musasi is PLU, but he doesn't come out in the open. Adonia Yebare tries here and there to defend, but he's not raw like Kavanda. He's a Polish diplomat. You see, but there is a clique, Kavanda, Gashumba, Mawanda, this clique. The president already described them for you. He gave you what he thinks about them. Don't expect him to appoint them in cabinet. Even your friend Andrew Mwenda, he belongs in that category. The president cannot put him in cabinet. Of the people whose character is questionable. The president cannot put him in cabinet. Otherwise, Andrew Mwenda would have been in cabinet eons ago.
Was chatting with my bank, but in cabinet. There's so many questions about characters in cabinet.
For the first time I see it. Oh. Yeah. Next time.
So anyway, that for me, that's how I.
So just the last one on it. So you think people like our friend here is a former gangster, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, will do his work unfettered? He will deliver without the worries.
He should be able to. For me, the point that I disagree with when that swap happened of taking Chris Baryomunsi to Dr. Chris Baryomunsi to health and then General Thacheng to ICT, there was a narrative being coined that, you know, how do you bring a medical doctor to ICT? And then, of course, the people were reminded that Chris Baryomunsi is also a medical doctor. A ministerial position is supposed to be a strategic leadership position. It doesn't matter what you studied, as long as you have the competence, the skill set required to provide strategic leadership. Even if you go to the United States, Dr. Ben Carson was the first cabinet secretary for housing under Donald Trump 1. He is a medical professional. So so it is a
Donald Trump, President Donald Trump.
No.
Is he
he himself?
He's a medical professional.
Yeah, but that's okay. You've taken a good line.
Even in Kenya, go to Kenya here. Yeah, the cabinet secretary for ICT, Kafogo is not an ICT professional, and he replaced in Uhuru's government.
I guess I agree.
Yes.
If you have management and leadership skills, you should be okay.
So I think Chris Baryomunsi should be able to deliver in health. He has a very good, an aggressive persona. He can push things through. But the reason why President Museveni switched them is about breaking networks. Breaking networks. Chris Baryomunsi had created a network of corruption in ICT. He appointed the wife of his cousin as the chair of UCC. He appointed the brother of Thomas Tayewa as a board chair of NITA U. He appointed a sister to his his cousin's wife as a board member on NITA U. So that network which Professor William Reba was talking about on social media, it is true. These are people I know. I have worked with them actually, and I actually cautioned them in private that this is wrong. You cannot do such a thing. It is very out there in the open. It is out there in the open. You cannot actually, you are creating a familiocracy in a familiocracy. Yeah. So in essence, these networks have to be broken. So you simply move him, swap him, take him somewhere. He could be a performer, but you take him somewhere else. Then you also, even Jen Ruth Acheng, it's the same thing. She has overstayed in the health ministry. So you find that she could actually be creating a fiefdom. So you actually move her from there. Yeah. Maybe the one final point I could talk about the cabinet is that you see when President Museveni moved around generals to Mukunde, Otafire, and Katumba, what is lost on the common man is that he's pushing these people away from the National Security Council. These are military generals, but they're not going to sit on the National Security Council. Now, the National Security Council is staffed with the Muhoozi Kainerugaba allies. So the succession is actually happening. It's no longer just a transition. It is a succession which is being done in favor of Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Well, so you now have 4-star general, 3-star general, 2-star general who are in the cabinet but will not sit on the National Security Council because of the portfolios they are holding. The ministries look nice, lucrative, but in terms of strategic importance to state security, they are not anywhere. Thank you.
Well, what a submission. Even one that did not echo. And you know, Abdul, I sat them together, the noisy fellows, Tabaro and Egesa. And I did not know that Tabaro could even sit and listen wholesome. So, yeah.
So you're about to give Tabaro the microphone now?
No, let me start with you, because we want to calm down first.
Maybe.
We want to calm down first. So, Abdul, what do you take of one, Egesa's presentation, his opinion on appointments? 2, are the appointments we have now, will they have ability to deliver?
Well, ability to deliver, you don't have to generalize. You just look at individuals holding which portfolios, and you see whether, in Egesa's words, they are strategic leaders. And you can go minister by ministry. I say with this one, I think he's first of all has got the capacity, the experience to deliver on some strategic policy and so on. But generally, I said this maybe a year ago, And I remember Lydia at that time was like, what are you talking about? You know, I told you we are winding up the NRM. Oh, you were here. I wish you can quote me. 2 years ago, I said NRM is being wound up. Oh, even up to now, you're asking that question. Good. So what is happening? The process is now coming to reality. Because today, right from the position of speaker, it wasn't about the NRM. It was about PLU. Once that tweet came of withdrawing the endorsement, and then also another tweet came endorsing some other person, everything shifted. Just within 24 hours.
Or less.
Or actually, maybe less. It shifted. And to me, I was like, oh, what? First of all, I wasn't surprised. I thought, yes, this is what it's going to be. So today, if you were a politician, and I saw it, everybody now wants to get an endorsement of the PLU. That's why, Oscar, when my brother, my young brother, or both, invited people at his house, all roads led to Mukono. 80% of the MPs were there. I am telling you, they were there because of the two tweets. All of them. So, I said all roads. So, you can lie to yourself that PLU is not a factor in today's politics. If you are disingenuous or you are gullible, to use a guesser's word, or you are really not you are dishonest with yourself. But PLU is a reality today, whether you want it or not. NRM, I don't know whether you can easily go to where the secretary is Chadondo Road for purposes of lobbying and so on. I think that place you would be wasting a lot of time. Yeah. So to me, I think the reality is now PLU
is no longer an influential area.
No. I wouldn't. If I wanted to really do serious lobbying for anything, I wouldn't go there. That's for sure.
I drove by last week and the potholes have even crept up.
I wouldn't go there. It is just for formality. Once decisions have been taken, then Chadondo can go stamping them and all over. Now, when you go to cabinet, it has a mix of those. Yes, I think, it's about families and so, but some of those guys, really, it's not about eating. These guys are very brilliant people. I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example. Some name which has even mentioned, Dr. Charles Ayume, a very young, brilliant, extremely brilliant. I have worked with him in Parliament. He was chairman of the Health Committee. I've interacted when they set up the COVID committee in Parliament at the beginning of last Parliament. I was chairing that committee and was part of my committee.
I was not impeaching their brilliance.
Yes.
I was just looking at the politics behind it.
To me, the politics always be there because, the politics, this is politics anyway. But, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of false narratives, all those things in politics are there. But to me, if you have a brilliant guy like Dr. Charles Ayume, I have no hesitation in my mind that will make a good minister. And there are many others. Take, for example, Ambassador Ayebare. What is it, foreign affairs, that it doesn't have? That's a first-class choice.
He actually matches Kaikwamba very well.
Which particular international office, organization, or personality he doesn't know.
He started on the wrong footing yesterday. The cabinet minister
go to the microphone.
You see, the Ambassador Ayebare, I also share the same sentiment about him. But yesterday I saw him goofing. The CDF congratulated him and accorded him the respect he deserves. Which is uncharacteristic of the CDF. Instead, he responded by saying, "No, Afande, I am the one who is going to take guidance from you."
Because he knows he has been appointed.
You see, now he was actually making it very obvious that, he was making it so obvious that this is where the power lies.
But there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
if you know,
Ambassador Donia doesn't know, he has not prepared
but he
for
also
the
know.
role, but because he knows he has been appointed, because the CDF chose that he should be appointed. It is the politics of the day, stupid.
But to me,
the
I guess,
abilities or
what
inabilities.
was wrong with that statement? In your view?
You see, what is happening is we are normalizing wrong things. You see, these days we are normalizing wrong things. That's why even people like even members of parliament were praising PLU for the crackdown on AAA. That was very wrong for bringing the military into purported corruption investigations. The military is not one of the constitutionally mandated bodies to do anti-corruption or to do corruption investigations.
No,
the other thing,
point
you see,
is one.
by the Ambassador Ayebare coming out to put the CDF above a minister. CDF is not in the top 10 positions in Uganda. It's the same as Thomas Tayewa going to represent. He was being delegated by a CDF to go and represent him in functions. He has been rewarded, fine. But for me, doing the wrong thing several times does not make it right. We have a duty to help Ugandans who are in, the young generation, to build a country which is rooted in democratic ideals, not in psychophancy. We should not be rewarding psychophancy. So that is what I'm saying. So on the political side, if you ask me as a political strategist, I'll tell him maybe you have scored some points. But if you ask me as a Ugandan citizen, I'll tell you it is wrong.
Okay. Now that
hold on.
Now just a minute. Now he's talking about.
Abdu, hold on a second.
Yes.
I guess you are. This man is a senior lawyer. You are fallen in his trap.
Proper. And I saw him giggling.
But you have delivered well on the trap.
Okay.
Abdu, conclude. I want to speak to the senior here.
Yeah. So to me, I think first of all, it's not correct, and I think it is wrong. It is unfair to prejudge people. I want people to be in the office. Let us give them an opportunity and judge them. To imagine that these are just eaters, these are useless fellows, these are blah blah. I think that is wrong. I think it's wrong. There are guys who are new. I'll give you an example. They could have given Siraj Ali, who is General Moses Ali's son, as a son of General Moses Ali. But I can tell you, he's one of the most brilliant lawyers you'll ever come across.
That's right, yeah.
Very brilliant and so on. But then if you so much now look so much at, his father is like this or blah, blah. Of course, the reason is he came because he wasn't a politician. But now he's there. My view is that we pray he performs to the expectation of his appointing authority, or even us who think he's a very intelligent, brilliant guy.
Indeed, you've left us with prayers. What he's saying...
It can only... by the way, I can tell you, there is no arithmetic to this.
No.
It's not there.
Abdu,
Don't never lie to yourself.
Abdu, you have a football match this evening. You don't want to use prayers. You have chosen your number 9 carefully, on merit. That's what Egesa is telling you.
I have seen big teams being beaten by smaller teams.
Yes.
So it goes to prayers.
Prayers
again.
are not chosen via prayer.
So as I conclude, anybody, if you have a new team, we give them an opportunity. But prayers are prayer man though. A few of them, we can say, well, however much you pray, you may not have what we think.
Yeah.
A few of them, they are there. There is no doubt about it.
Now you've redeemed yourself.
No, it's you want me to dwell on the negatives, and I don't do that. I'm really a positive man, and that's what I am, and that's what you are.
It is not necessary to dwell on negatives.
Yeah, so to me, I'm looking at what could be the positive about it, and I'm looking at some of those people because I know them. Today, I guess I was talking about Baryomunsi, this and this and this. But if you were the one who appointed Baryomunsi for ICT and national guidance, do you think he did a good job strategically or not in the circumstances? Yeah, that's what we should be looking at. But then you see, his wife, his cousin, his wife's auntie was on this board. Who doesn't appoint this?
I don't know. The elderly. Do you think the ministerial appointments will deliver for Uganda, and also taking into consideration all of Egesa's assertions?
You know,
Edgar, you cannot whisper. Your voice is too large for a whisper. Gentlemen.
Of course, on this table, I can be proud that I've worked closely with the appointing authority for the longest time than any of you. I have worked with the president since 2000, when he appointed me as the Director of Information.
No, Deputy Director first.
No.
At the NMC.
No.
You were
you don't. No. No. Let me educate you to absolve you of the ignorance. I was, yes, I was appointed.
Talk like an elder.
Yes, I was appointed. I was appointed to replace Winnie Byanyima.
Oh, to replace that.
I had never been deputy to anyone.
Thank God.
Yes, I'd moved from security services to New Vision to Human Rights. Yes, as a chief investigator there.
No, you never moved. Also, be honest.
You remained an operative.
Okay.
You were just deployed. You are safe there, please.
Okay. I concede your correction.
All the education.
Continue.
And I think in the system, I'm among those who are had the same assignment of information at the national level for the longest time. I did 26 years altogether. I was somebody in information, because I did from movement secretariat to spokesperson of the campaign task forces. I did 4 of them. I came to media center, where I was added again executive director and government spokesperson.
Okay, fast forward to ministerial
Our constitution says that the prerogative of appointing ministers is solely for the president, and so it is the president who can know in detail why he appoints a Lupo, a major, a recent soldier, by all means, very junior to a general. Why he appoints Robin Nabanja, in our view, who had moved from sub-county councillor, deputy RDC, replacing people. When we were young, we thought they were very big. Kiseka, Adiebo, Kintumisoke, Sibambi, Amama. And I think people try to match against, and I think they are unfair. Because these people moved a different, they have been moving on different paths. So you don't fight. So it is the president who knows in detail. The rest of us can either speculate, or, like in the case of Mr. Gesa, who likes saying he's a political strategist. At least has not given me his services. I can't even know the quality of his strategy. Just listen. I listened.
Your microphone is
let me just correct him. A strategist who can't know that Mr. Vyamukama, the new minister of works, he has just made a mistake. I think it's a mistake. Vyamukama has never been in the army.
He has.
No.
From Kakumiro?
No. So please.
It's very young.
If you don't know, let those who say they know at least update you, if not correct you. Vyamukama has never been a captain in the army.
This MP of the elder.
Yes. Please. Two. The movement of government is defined in the Constitution since 1995. Each time we go for election, there are dates in between within which the president must form cabinet. Usually, that is between 12th of May and about 26th of May. Go and check. Since we have had elections, 96, 2011, 2016, 2021 and now. All those cabinet appointments come immediately, usually 2-3 days, not more than a week after the presidential swearing in, because
21 it wasn't the case.
Please go and check.
Yeah.
Usually, because after the president swearing in, then we do members of parliament. Then the president convenes to elect the speaker. Because the president is the one who convenes that sitting of parliament,
Yes.
where the chief justice presides over the election of speaker. Usually, immediately after electing the speaker, the president announces the cabinet. It may be one day. Last time, I think twice now, we have had cases where the president announces cabinet after the election of the speaker, but before the speaker convening. And consequently, we have had a few of those cases where the president announces people before Parliament has sat. And so you would find that the first committee that is formed, which is the Appointments Committee, we have had a few cases where you get some people who have been nominated to the committees being appointed ministers and they withdraw. We have had those cases. So it is not magic, Mr. Gesa.
Not yet.
No.
Let him
I
finish.
listen to you. Why are you in a hurry?
No, you are giving wrong information.
No, I'm not giving the wrong information. So that is the period within which the president appoints people. Now, yes, you can use powerful lenses to say in this cabinet nominees there are a number of relatives of known politicians who have been brought. It is the president who knows. In the case of Moses said, and but it is not just Moses. You remember the case of Ben Kwanka's son? Yes. Ben Kwanka's son, the man from Bukoma Simbi. Morris. And the president has not been shy. The president has not been shy in those kind of cases. To say, I have appointed so and so because this Biamukama you're talking about. The president himself said, this is a son of my friend. After his son's election, he came to Rakura to see me. Probably was saying, my friend. My son has now become a member of parliament. Can you look at me? My brother, young brother, Galabuz, we call him Gala, the one for Luweru. You remember? Sozi. The president said, there's this young man, I'm giving him because
The father used to give us
sugar and coffee. The father was the one who would come to Kampala and buy for the president coffee and sugar. This is what he said. It's on record. In the last cabinet reshuffle, midway, that brought the Barugaharas, the Abez, and others, when we went for the retreat in Kisozi, the president said, stand up, you people of PLU. In my cabinet, now I also have some PLU. This is what he said. It's on record. So in a number of cases, the president has actually given some of the reasons he has brought people. And so we can use the facts and the power of analysis to say why. But in this cabinet, there are probably 60 people who are all ministers. They have been in the cabinet before. I think on those, having lived with them for 5 years or more, we can judge whether they are capable of delivering. If, for example, you have had the Minister of Lands, who has been a Minister of Lands for Buganda, or in land in Buganda, that one we can judge, in my view. The new Attorney General we can judge and say, maybe these ones will continue with the same tangent. They want to do much. Yes, but on the new ones.
I beg your pardon. You said they won't do much.
No, I said I'm saying that they may not do much. They may not change the direction. Because if you have been a minister for lands, for example, for the last 6 years, and you have been a minister of lands in Buganda, because you don't see them talk about land issues in other parts of the country. Probably that's what the president gave. Maybe that is the instruction of the president, but I doubt. Yes, those ones I don't expect much, and I'm not shy, afraid to say it. But even in those ones,
we are going for a break.
Depending
so
on
let's
the, depending on the new instructions, maybe they can change.
Yeah.
The moderator is taking us on the tangent.
We'll come back from the break. Quite a noisy break. We'll come back from the break. Tabaru, yes. Let me give you just one because there are many people waiting to speak.
I said, but even in those cases, depending on the
I wanted to save you from yourself.
No. Depending on the new instructions and also the team you are going to work with. For example, Bariomus was, by the way, he started from Minister of Health and was taken out.
No, he started as state for, was it urban planning?
No. State in health.
Then
housing.
Yes. Yes. Now, in such a case, Bariomusi should be capable to deliver, because now going to be the top person. Because the other time when he was in health, he was under somebody else. Now, the Bariomusi is one of those who can say he actually delivered in ICT. Because I have been there with him, I know the mileage he has done. When you talk of telephones, you talk of backbone, you talk about this digitalization of government, and so on and so forth. I can vouch for him. The young ones, I think we need to give them 100% benefit of the doubt. That's if they are willing to learn. If they are willing. But you see, if you look at Stock and Pier, for example, that's a psych.
Commander 001.
Chances are that type of psych may not. I have had this Nakabuchi. Some of them may not learn. They may not have the humility to learn. To say we don't know this stuff. We need to take some time. Now, I just want to conclude with the coming. How did each of them come? I am privy. The evening before Oboto's function, telephones were actually called. Many of those people were called and told, please don't miss it. Because earlier on, Obot himself had issued. No. Because we're in the same group of Tororo, many of us had put because remember, most of us are O's who were sworn in the same day. So many of us had put our small parties on the Friday. Him, as an older person in Parliament, chose to put his on Saturday. According to what he said there in that party, he said he had made his function just family and his campaigners. But he was told, he was instructed, please, we want to make this thing big, to make a statement, since we had endorsed you. So phone calls were being made to members of Parliament to say, please, don't miss. And that's the crowd. What I found there was that they even had the list of members of Parliament. At the entrance, they would take. So they were taking Idadi.
Like Center used it to go for.
And it was announced at the end that out of 529 members of Parliament, we have got here more than 350, meaning that the half, 50% plus one. For should we go for election of the speaker? I think that was the intent. Now, since 2021, this is when this thing became prominent. You remember that election of Olanya and Kadaga was very sharp. There were many people who were, first of all, they had done alliance. Tayebwa was with Kadaga. Anita was with Olanya. Because these people were very, very aggressive, even when they went to SEC and eventually the caucus, they remained belligerent. And so the president had to find a way of how do you manage the Kadaga group. Consequently, I want to, in the course of that SEC, I think it was negotiated. Tayeba, don't worry, we shall put you somewhere. Agnes Nanduzo was the spokesperson for the Kadaga group. That's how she also came, and a number of others. I think then NRM people learned that if you want to catch the eye of the president for appointment, many of them, I talked to them. They told me,
work the numbers.
They said, they agree with the guest. They agree with the guest. Many of these people they were not looking to be deputy speakers and speakers. They knew you refuse to leave, to give way, you go to SEC, and you are accommodated. I want to say...
So why were you attacking Mao?
Which Mao?
No, but Mao. There's only one Mao.
My disagreement with the Mao was simply on the fact that he has only 6 members of parliament, including himself. You cannot, by the politics of parliament, you can't say you are coming from a party with 6 members of parliament and you want to rule.
Thank you.
There's no way. You know, NRM wants to win everything. Yeah. It is not possible for NRM to compromise with you in such
so let's go to a lone voice of opposition.
I agree. He was negotiating his cooperation agreement.
Right. Benjamin, you're on microphone. I guess you start with the.
Are you saying
Abdu is not in parliament.
But he voted for Museveni by his own admission, so you can't oppose the person you voted for. Yeah.
I should lead you on this one. I doubt that you say that this cabinet is going to deliver.
No. I think for me the most depressing thing about this cabinet, first of all, is the size. Because I think Uganda now has the 3rd largest cabinet in the world, even larger than the one of India, which has over 1.4 billion population. Is it the richest? Is it? Yes. Actually, there are only 2 countries ahead of Uganda now, Indonesia and Sri Lanka. And we are a poor country. We are heavily relying on borrowing. It's very, very unfortunate. Yes, we are in very good company. But number 2, are there some people that are capable of delivering? Yes. You see, if you look at even in pre-independence Uganda, in very undemocratic dispensations, there were individuals that were transformative. I come from Ankole, but to date people talk about Noah Mbaguta, who was the prime minister of the Ankole kingdom. At the time, we had not even become a republic. He was serving a monarchy that is largely about family rule, but he was able to do some transformative work. So even in, not necessarily, but maybe that is a discussion for another day. But to date, today, when you look at the cabinet, there are some individuals, even in the circumstances, who will be able to provide some strategic leadership in their respective ministries, whip out inefficiency and corruption. But I doubt that that was the consideration for their appointment.
You heard from OO. And
yes,
I guess
when you look at the politics of Museveni over time, is largely centered on power politics as opposed to transformative politics. He's largely transactional. He's appointing you in exchange, not of your merit, but he's trying to respond to some power dynamics that will play along in consolidation and retention of power. The other dynamic, I think that people normally, the mistake people make is to say, oh, them 7 group, oh, them host group. These are one and the same. And over time, some people make a mistake of think, and when you look at these appointments, for example, you are asking the example of the Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, that will he be safe in performing of his duties? He may be, he may not be, but it's not dependent, because you see over time.
At some point you are doubting you'd make it to cabinet.
Like I mentioned, yes, like I mentioned, Museveni, driven by the strategic objective of power consolidation and retention, and now with the view of handing it down to the bloodline, does not follow feelings, whether he's happy with you or not happy with you. And in fact, if you also look at the son's approach, he has gradually become unpredictable. When you follow what he says about some people, sometimes he presents things as serious and they turn out not to be serious. So you cannot even be sure that he has a genuine beef against Baryomunsi or that he wants to follow through. He mixes banter with seriousness. So sometimes you may fall for the deception And I think even in these cabinet appointments, there is a very high level of deception. And whom you have said is a student of security and intelligence. I'm sure it's very, very. Deception is a very, very key instrument that is used. So the people that have been appointed, not necessarily are those that the president likes or dislikes, but for the moment, the appointment may be useful in one way or the other. Of course, the other important consideration to look at is the erosion of the constitutional order. And I guess I was faulting Ambassador Adonia for acknowledging that this. I don't think he acknowledges the CDF. When he is doing so, he's guided by the order of precedence of the country. No. You mentioned that you are a strategist. I'm sure you understand that in every analysis, terrain is very important. With the longevity of any government in power comes the influence of family. And even if Mohoz was not a CDF, he would still have as much power as he wields now in how people are appointed, how people are deployed on account of being Museveni's son. That alone qualifies him to play a very significant role in the politics in a country where constitutional order has largely been undermined, and now you are dealing with personalized rule of an individual who has become the constitution, has become the country, and everything. So, yes, the son-in-law of Trump, and he said the road has been.
Yeah.
So
the father his daughter is
yes.
No, you're about to bring in these issues of Congo, please.
and why it is important to understand the terrain, because it feeds into the strategy. Whether you are from Museveni or anti-Museveni, your strategy must be mindful of the territory you are dealing with. You may know your opponent, you may know yourself, but you must know the territory in which you're operating. And I think these ministers, largely, their conduct. One time I was having a chat with a person who is a minister now, a long-serving person in this government in many ways, and he mentioned how he was uncomfortable with the people, with the first lady delegating the prime minister, the vice president to go and represent her at different functions. But I think the challenge is people who want to analyze the politics of Uganda in abstract. But the politics of Uganda has largely shifted. What we are dealing with, and I think it was General Tafiri was complaining sometime that the danger of succession in bloodlines, that when you have Sultan 1, then you have Sultan number 2. But we are largely dealing with an individual who has over time invested in building a personal monarchy. And at this stage, anybody connected to the family yields more power than executive appointments. These individuals we are discussing here, the ones we are calling people making calls, even the ministers, the Speaker of Parliament, they are very inconsequential in the power dynamics of our country now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Derek, you've Mr. Arsenal.
There's one last point I would like to mention, which I think should concern Ugandans, again on erosion of the constitutional order. The appointment of people and has been occupying the discussion about people that hold dual citizenship, people that may not even be citizens of Uganda, because it's very important that people distinguish being born in Uganda with citizenship. And when you look at the Constitution of Uganda, the Citizenship and Immigration Control Act, they clearly stipulate who is a Ugandan. They clearly stipulate which positions are holders of dual citizenship excluded from holding. And we seem to be dealing with a situation where there is even a person who has triple. You have citizenship of Uganda, citizenship of Canada, citizenship of Rwanda, which is illegal, because in Uganda, under the laws of Uganda, you can only hold dual. If you add the third one, then you lose the citizenship of Uganda. Now the law.
No, you would lose the citizen of the other
country. Why Uganda? One of the countries.
No.
One of them.
Why? It is my expertise. Even my master's thesis is on citizenship and immigration matters. The by operation of the law, how does a Ugandan by birth, for example, lose citizenship? If you are not a dual citizen and you acquire another citizenship, but if you now, even if you're a dual, but the dual I'm told was acquired in for the particular case of the person who has been appointed now to preside over matters of citizenship and immigration and enforcement at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And I have nothing personal. I have nothing personal.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why there is a vetting committee of Parliament. We hope that those of you who have these details will furnish the committee.
But under the constitution of Uganda, how many offices are bad other than the president?
Even before the vetting, Oscar, if I may conclude on this point, is that even if these appointments were made in error, it points to the casualness in which the head of state runs the affairs of the state. In fact, if you look even at the appointment of someone who did not qualify to be government chief whip, and he has now had to issue, he has had to now issue an amended list, switching the two people. A very small thing that should have been detected before the list went out. So we believe that the vetting committee of Parliament will be alive to those realities. But even before the vetting committee does this, of course, we are also dealing with the challenge of a parliament that has been largely captured and weakened. Because previously, that vetting committee of Parliament has allowed people with a conviction record who are excluded from holding ministerial appointments and public office jobs, has cleared them to be ministers, and they have served and they have been reappointed. So that speaks to our lack of confidence in the ability of the vetting committee to stop people that do not qualify from ascending to the office of
Derek Wandera. Yeah. Derek, you're on micro.
Yes. Last week, I think the other week, we were here discussing the same who will become
Minister. Now we know.
Now we know. And in my submission, I said, let's just pray that the president doesn't appoint some people who are.
Yes. So I like prayers. I like prayers, but I like meritocracy as well. No, I like meritocracy.
We probably have given up on life in Uganda, but we said let's pray that the president doesn't appoint people who are dead, like it has happened in other countries. That's what I said.
You are seated in Semuju's seat. He's the one who used to say those things.
Yeah, but seriously, if you see some of the things that are happening in terms of switching positions and all these that are coming up about dual citizenship versus what the constitution says about who becomes minister or whatever, they are indicative of the fact that probably the president needed a lot more consultation. Like the case of my auntie, who was appointed government chief whip, and yet she's not an MP, and then that switch had to happen. And those are some of the prayers we were having, that probably the president doesn't appoint someone who is dead, So it's unlike places like Kenya that I know very well. We have almost the same process of coming up with ministers, but the rigorousness with which they appoint one to become a cabinet minister, or even the vetting process, is very thorough, that you would not find some of these talks that we're having today happening. That even when the list is released, first there is public scrutiny, which we are going through, but then there is that process of parliament. Trust you me, we have a number of people who we have issues about dual citizenship and stuff. If the president says, let them go ahead and hold those offices, Parliament will not have to do anything. They will not be able to even hold them back or nullify them, because the buck ends with the president. One thing we need to ask here is how effective or how important are our ministers? Do ministers hold real power in the ministry?
You have one in the studio, please.
I know, and I don't doubt my sister in the position she was given, but do they have effectiveness? Do they call any shots, or the buck ends with the president, and whenever he says something, it's final? We will look at how the competence.
But that's, I mean, it's the same in your nation media group. The CEO, whoever, they if they've said something, you go with that.
You see, in nation media, for instance, if I have a story and it's an investigative piece, trust you me, even the CEO will rely on me. Will have confidence
I don't think you know
in me.
which goes on national media. I don't think so. As a reporter,
If you have
A good story,
sources.
but the editor couldn't hold it. If, for example,
Yes, the
they
editor
can
can
say
hold.
this one is dangerous to put out now, and they
Yes,
can hold
but
it.
you know what I'm saying is
they even said this story conflicts with our main advertising.
sometimes,
Sometimes, yes.
sometimes
So you
that's
can't say
true.
everything.
But what I'm saying is, if I'm investigating a story,
No, I've
I
understood what I'm
necessarily
saying.
don't have to-
I'm just saying
Yes.
that it is not necessarily wrong to follow your boss.
It is true.
Yeah.
For me, what I'm saying is, do these people even, like, for instance, I go to the field, do they go to the field to look for that story? Are they the ones who do look for that story? Their effectiveness in those positions, or they're just like, flowery people, like put there as scarecrows and stuff like that. For me, that's what I feel. And if you appoint some people into some ministerial positions and you clearly know that these people are not going to do anything, they can't do anything. And there's one ministerial office where everyone is putting down their hands. They're like, now this one, So you look at efficiency, how efficient they're going to be, how important these people are to the people they are serving, and you sometimes are going to question qualification here. Does the president even look at qualification? To be honest with you, I think this cabinet brings in a number of people who are very brilliant than the last one. People like Dr. Charles Ayume, very brilliant chap, and others. But I feel no, everyone has seen him, but we don't. Even if we saw,
I'm saying sourcing him to cabinet. Was it you or to
no,
the president?
not me. I'm saying the president did a good job there, but again, I think, like I said, we need
Didn't
to
choose them on meritocracy.
It has to be on merit.
Oh, has already confirmed. So let's go to Edgar, and then after the break, we'll go to Madam Minister here on a different topic,
Let him not talk
discussing
about
Ebola. Lady, I will not allow you to discuss ministerial positions, but we'll have a next topic of Ebola in Uganda, and you can lead. Madam Minister can lead on that one. Edgar, you're on. I should say to you, Edgar, that professor is my friend. I was going to text him, but I didn't get time before the show
But also
to
about the law.
and
This debate
Professor Muganga.
of citizenship.
I think we are
Because we are
placing.
but
we are doing.
I believe I have the floor now.
yes, you have the floor. Please, you have the floor. Edgar, it's your microphone that's on. The
I
listeners are
think
waiting
we
for
are
you.
placing we are placing a premium on ministerial appointments. If you have observed statecraft in Uganda,
Madam, former
for the last
contestants. The speaker of this table is now saying yes.
if you have observed statecraft for the last 40 years in Uganda, there's what is and there's what is real. Ministers don't really do much. Much of the work is done by the technocrats. Permanent. There's a very big official in government they call a permanent secretary. Those are the ones who control budgets. I know for a fact some ministers are at the mercy of a permanent secretary. For something as little as fuel. They have constituencies they have this and this demand.
You have to read the other budgets when you
Mr. Odo, you are an operative, but you are not permitted to disclose state secrets. And
no,
quite frankly,
sometimes you do to enlist more.
To enlist more, counterintelligence. So I know we're excited about this and this minister, this and that. And for those who are going to join the government for the first time, they are going to get the shocker that the minister will even cut the budget for your fuel. And I know some of these ministers, some of them, the PS. Some of these, I know some of these flamboyant ministers. They would want chase vehicles for what do they call them?
Sharpshooters.
Escort vehicles.
A lead vehicle. There's a lead and also there's a chase.
Yeah.
But sometimes they interchange. Sometimes it takes the lead. Another
Edgar, go to the substance.
What I'm saying, we are wasting a lot of time discussing ministers. The real, the accounting officers, and there are some accounting officers in this country that have clout and will not take any nonsense from any minister. But there are those ones who also have clout. For instance, I see the postings to Ministry of Local Government. One of them is very noisy. I'm telling you, she's not going to have a good time there. The PS, the PS there, taking nonsense from who?
Maybe he will be transferred.
Maybe if he's transferred. Minister of Agriculture, General Kasula. Man, ministers have been operating from.
He's about to meet his triple
I know you've been there, Pines with man. These are no pushovers, my friend. So as we get excited, if Rosette Biengoma,
you know politicians come and
go. So we are getting excited over nothing. Whether they are brilliant or substandard or below average, at the end of the day, all you'll do is read speeches, be given a cabinet member to present. Some of them even don't understand. I've mentioned the one of agriculture. The ministers were operating from Kampala. He's the only one who operates from Entebbe. General Kasula, you worked with him at Shankwan's.
Not understanding, but even having ability to read a speech
well. So this, Solomon Israel.
Edgar Tabaro, and on citizenship.
But
on citizenship.
But
hold on.
The exciting thing, gentlemen, the exciting thing. There's one long-serving minister, General Kaindota Firi. He has now started. He's going to ministries he has previously served in. Local government, internal affairs, so he's being recycled.
On citizenship.
So we shall also be referring to Otafire in water, Otafire 1, Otafire 2. Otafire 1 in local government, Otafire 2. Like we used to have a bottle 1 and a bottle 2. But the jokes aside, when it comes to Professor Muganga, I'm very shocked. We represented the Bavandimwe. You remember the story. Bavandimwe were their lawyers, and we went to President Museveni, where we managed to extract an executive order outlining, giving directives, administrative directives, direction on how their matters should be handled. We spent 4.5 hours with President Museveni. He got on the phone and started calling clusters of Banyarwanda immigrants in Uganda and giving background and explanations and giving details as to dates, because it's very important when it comes to dates. 1926 cutoff point. Cutoff point. Now many had come after 1926. It should be opened up because the 1962 constitution validated every Munyarwanda who was in Uganda as up to that. Now when it came to the 1995 constitution, it reversed it and put it at 1926. 1st February. Now that discrepancy.
Hold on 1 second. Let him finish.
He's a lawyer. Yes.
No. Let him finish.
Okay, so
there's an issue of
citizenship away.
So the shocker is that when we're in that meeting, President Museveni, after explaining and calling these people Professor Dr. Kamuhanjire, Sikwawo Cheyune, talked about Lydia Tajira Kanuma's. No, really, the shocker is President Museveni put it to Muganga and Gashumba to choose their loyalty. Do they want to belong here or elsewhere? Muganga and Gashumba stood up and spoke in Uganda. Ochitiva President Fetuliva Kuno, Erituina Mikwano Joka. Now the shocker is that it's now coming up for discussion and a lot more is being disclosed. So I think we just can't run away from the law. We have to style up. We made these laws ourselves to govern ourselves. Let us abide by them.
Let's stop for a break. We'll come back from the break. This is the Capital Gang, and the Capital Gang has been equally loud. Before the break has been very loud. We are on air. So
yeah. The PS is being sent on forced leave. Yeah. The undersecretary is on forced leave. The secretary is for police.
Who is the PS?
General Msanyif. The soldiers were removed. Now we are going to be left with the Honorable Kamuntu to superintend.
Abdul, 2 minutes on the legal issue you wanted to bring up on citizenship. And then we go to Lydia.
I think the point is we should respect the law.
Yeah.
There should be no legal engineering about this. The law at that time it was made, the Constitution itself and the subsequent act made under the Constitution, really allowing Parliament to make a law that can bar people who have different or who have those citizenship offices they cannot hold. It is also there. So really it is not a debate we should be having, in my view. We shouldn't be having this debate at all. Let us look at the law, and is it true that some of these guys appointed have got to do citizenship, and what does the law say? And really this debate is very unnecessary.
It's an open and shut case. No, it's necessary because like almost all of you have remarked that there are cases where we have twisted the law. The case Benjamin said, you remember the minister who was appointed before completing the tenure?
Yes.
This minister had been convicted on her own plea. She refunded 100 million Global Fund money. But she was appointed before she completed the 10 years elapsed. And you remember that in that particular case, Parliament committee actually rejected twice. But the president kept on insisting until the committee gave way. They granted the president his wish. I don't think that's the best way to proceed. Now that this, I think we should now examine all the appointees. And we are going to do so. I hope the speaker is...
Just say...
I hope the speaker...
just pray. Which Oscar doesn't want to.
I'm saying,
just pray.
I'm saying that, I hope the speaker...
that the committee do.
You are trying to actually become anti-democratic. The citizens, by bringing this debate up, the citizens are being vigilant.
Listen, guys, you get me wrong. Yeah? I was saying, first of all, we shouldn't be having this debate because before a person is nominated for appointment, he must have gone through vetting.
But you are the same person who told me in politics anything flies.
Not illegality.
President Museveni will try to make it sail through. But the vigilance of the citizens is actually...
I think the vetting process of especially the security agencies should have done their job.
No.
They should not cause this embarrassment.
But the truth is, how would you know that the security agencies need to do their job and probably they were overruled? Overriding. Because I can give the president a brief.
It's up to
taking the brief is not my job. For me, I have given the brief.
Yeah.
And he is free to do so. Okay. But also, many of our people are laxed. Maybe they didn't go that direction.
Yeah. No, the price of democracy. The price of democracy is economic.
Hold on.
The last line about dual citizenship is that why certain specific offices people with dual citizenship are bad is because of the double loyalty. Yes. Because if you belong to two different countries
or three,
actually under the laws of Uganda, belonging to three is prohibited.
Okay.
And there is a conflict between the two countries. Where does patriotism place your loyalty?
That's why even the offices which are specified under the law, they are specific. They are these strategic
state secrets, because if you are going to be running that ministry or a security outfit, you are going to be a custodian of state secrets.
So isn't Internal Affairs a member of the Security Council?
Chairs the Security Council.
Can you imagine if you have dual citizenship and then you are chairing the Security Council of another country? So it becomes problematic.
Indeed. Honorable Minister Lydia Wanyoto, Ebola is in a country.
Double citizenship.
Local breed.
Kenyan.
Local breed. So Ebola is in the country. WHO has been putting out statements that Uganda is safe, that Uganda is okay, but this has not stopped some countries from giving travel restrictions. You do know that we Rotarians were due to go to Taiwan for a Rotary convention. Now that we cannot leave because it has been we have literally gone to Taiwan.
To go to Taiwan,
but we've gone to Taiwan but not gone to Taipei. The World Cup is starting. America had banned, said you'll be quarantined for 21 days. Canada said 90 days. So it's
no, you're out.
Yeah, indeed.
We are out. We are out.
The WHO says Uganda knows what they're doing. Uganda is safe. So, now, from now on, whenever you speak, you'll be speaking officially.
No, not yet.
Hey, not yet. Okay.
I am not taken.
The law.
She has not sworn in.
I am still the gangster.
Okay.
But it's just the usual security alert. Health alert. All embassies have issued travel advisories. So many people have not traveled because Uganda declared that we had the Ebola alert. They had identified some cases, especially from DRC, and we are on monitoring, high alert monitoring, and it's very important for us. Even for Uganda, there has been very serious advisories, although Ugandans don't want to listen. But we have been advised not to gather or to greet. Those directives are out. We should reduce close gatherings in closed rooms. We should not wash. We should not shake hands so much. We should wash hands more often. These are some of the protective SOPs that are going to help us avoid Ebola. Even when I was in Masindi on Thursday, I went to attend the burial of Tom Magambo's son. There were serious observations about Ebola restrictions, and I hope it can be at any other gatherings. I was impressed because there was water, there were spaced sittings and stuff like that. It should be like that so that we are all safe. And I hope it's a period we should be able to know when to stop, because the Ugandans, people get offended if you don't shake their hands when you are greeting. Some of them, they like hugging. If you don't hug, now you see she has stopped greeting with the hands because she's a minister. So we have that problem. They should tell us when we should start greeting people. Honorable Katana is seated next to me. I should greet him with a firm handshake next time. And sanitizers are back on the market. So we should use sanitizers as much as we can. It is cheaper to have a sanitizer than end up in an ICU breathing for your life. So I would like to encourage people to use the SOPs that have been given to us. Wash your hands more often. Don't do much handshaking. Let's learn how to space across spacing, but even at functions, weddings, funerals, and any gatherings, we should be very careful because Ebola scare is with us. Even the travel advisors are out. I know many people who cannot travel to the US now. The US has closed off travel to the US, especially at least for Uganda.
Unlike us who permitted Congolese to come.
Yeah. And then for Uganda, in Uganda, I am informed that also we've also closed our borders. But we have Oscar, we have very serious porous borders in Uganda. So I don't know how much they have affected the porous borders of DRC to Uganda. Ours are really porous. People go for prayers, they come this side. The locals, really, it's very difficult, but I hope that they are managing it. We hardly have real borders. So there are some borders are not.
These wanderers just go and buy sugar, come back from Kenya.
Yeah, even us, we cross to Kenya to dance Kadodi, to attend funerals, then we come back. We have bull sports, bull fights, cock fights. They cross over that we can take their cock the other side. Come, cock fights and then bull fights. And big money. So we do our cock fights, bull fights.
Okay.
Those are very serious sports. So it is sports. So when you talk about closing borders, the porous borders, it's very challenging to manage. But
our Minister of Health.
Just leaders are speaking like a minister. Very careful with the information. Wash hands. None is a distance.
I agree with what. I associate myself with what he has said, because that's the guidance by our government, backed by professionalism from the Minister of Health, and then announced by the President himself.
Even Matters Day has
As you know,
postponed.
the President cancelled Matters Day, postponed. They have, towards the politicians that are in Parliament, they have issued instructions not to hold public gatherings like rally celebrations, which bring many people.
They should wait.
Because you can't tell, even if you hold it in Toro, you can't tell whether OFWONO hasn't been to Mbarara or Kasese lately. So I think this is a good guidance. We don't have much of Ebola here, but I think it's a good preventive measure. We can lose money. We shall lose the tourists who are coming to, but I think it's made in good faith to protect all of us. I don't think we need even to debate much of that. And knowing Uganda, in all times they have complied. Remember, we endured 2 years of COVID. We have endured Ebola restrictions. I think 2 bouts now, and Marburg. So I think Ugandans are listening. Yes, we have our cultural attachment that we hesitate to appreciate somebody not greeting you by hand. But especially those of us who are leaders, we should. If somebody comes to me, I should be the one for me. By the way, since we came out of COVID, I don't greet by hand. I actually tell you, I say, no, I know you are moving with the corona, or I'm moving with the corona. So you find it easier not to extend your hand. So I think we should be able to tell our people.
Yeah. Derek? You're the active journal here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be speaking about what the situation looks like in the country.
No alarmism, please.
No alarmism, but it's important to share facts. We have about 500 active cases. Contacts. Yeah, contacts. Confirmed cases are 7. As of yesterday, we have 4 active ones. We have only 1 death, 2 recoveries, and that was as of 21 days of Ebola when it was officially reported as breaking. So I think the only time I find the country so much united is during these public health issues, like Honorable O has put it during COVID, whenever the president said today no moving out of your houses, the country complied. And I know that probably one of the things that the country has been very vigilant on is when it comes to fighting public health situations, like when we had Marburg, we've had monkeypox and whatever. because it affects us so much, like the times of yellow fever and all that, we as a country are affected because now we can't travel. We have Abdul Katuntu here was telling me he had bought his tickets, but now he can't travel, and many people are not going to be able to travel, tickets. Which is something that should be taken serious. As journalists, we are trying to dispense as much information as possible, probably to add it to it, because then the people out there are knowing,
what's happening.
What's happening, and tourism is being affected so much. But it's very important that we stay very safe. And,
Benjamin.
Of course, the outbreak of Ebola is a very unfortunate development. It disrupts lives, business. It has far-reaching effects. Uganda has a history of dealing with these pandemics in a very, effective way. I was shocked only at the beginning of this unfortunate season when the people leading the nation on communication, I think, also consumed in the siege mentality, had taken to attacking whoever said there was some outbreak of Ebola in Uganda, blaming it on some parasites, which I thought was really unfortunate. And I don't want to speculate, but we have had these challenges before, but we have not had a response of countries, cancelling visas, suspending visas for people from Uganda. But I think the attempt to deny by our communications people may have triggered a response of that nature, because now people with visas are receiving messages that, if you are coming from Uganda, you cannot travel to these countries, and things of that nature. But I want to retaliate the message from the honorable thank you for the grammatical correction from the honorable minister about the no about the vigilance,
to emphasize
about the vigilance of the population, to avoid crowded places, to avoid body contact of any nature, and to know that stopping these infections takes personal responsibility. We should not wait for it takes personal responsibility to stop this.
Thank you.
Yes.
Abdul.
There are two issues here. One, Uganda has got an open policy. Whenever we've had this sort of pandemics, we have always been open about it. And it has helped us, one, to grow capacity to combat it. I think in the region we could be one of those countries, actually the whole of Africa. We have capacities, and one time there was an outbreak in one of the countries in Western Africa, and Sierra Leone, and we had to export some of our experts and so on. So really, because we've gone through these problems, we've managed to create that capacity, and I hope we still have that capacity to make sure that it doesn't go beyond what it is now. But sometimes we have that conflict, tourism and so on, and people are like, don't talk too much about it, you're going to scare people coming and so on. Yet our policy has been, if there is a problem, say we have this problem, such that you get our people know they are conscious about it, and then we know how to behave and so on, and I hope we shall get over it.
Edgar?
Well, Uganda has stellar performance in managing the health crisis right from the colonial days. Actually, one of our own from Toro, John Kabuimukia Babiha, the one after whom that road is named, Acacia, which some of you still refer to Acacia. He was a parasitologist, and
he was a what?
A parasitologist.
Right.
Parasite. So, and trachoma.
He wasn't a parasite.
An expert parasitology. So trachoma used to really disturb the cartoons. Uganga, he's the one actually who came. Trachoma, yeah. Also, yes, trypanosomiasis, exactly that one. Next to her office, public service.
Mr. Gesa, you speak last.
So that was Babiha's work, and he really eliminated trachoma. So we have stellar performance in responding to these sesaflies. Exactly. Actually, the sesafly, that family of sesafly, is named after Babiha. Yes. It's named after Babiha.
So on Ebola.
So coming to Ebola, I always like talking about the DRC, and you arrest me. DRC has an absence of state presence. Now, yes, this Ebola originated from that side. The first, I think, traceability was in Bundivujo. Yes. Now, whenever I talk about DRC, I see people getting uncomfortable, and this operative alleging I have multiple loyalty. I'm an East African, and I've always I've always said, let us take interest in what is happening in the DRC,
right,
and even give them capacity to manage some